Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Excel Island and welcome to day 4 of 100 days of Microsoft Power BI. Today is day 4 of live streaming the learning journey to 100 days of Microsoft Power BI using the resources on the DataCamp platform. The goal and objective is to learn and master Power BI over the next 100 days. And today is day 4. So welcome back if you're an existing subscriber and welcome if you're a new subscriber. My name is Abatan Sheriffdeen, but you can call me Sheriff for short. So we're actually on the career track on the DataCamp platform, which is called Data Analyst in Power BI. And we are still on the first course in the whole career track. The career track actually contains 17 courses and it is estimated to be covered for over 48 hours, actually 48 hours. And definitely you'll be spending more than that while listening to the instructor, while also practicing and doing what the instructor is doing. You're actually going to spend more than 48 hours. And the good news is that today we want to complete the first course in the whole chapter, which is the introduction to Power BI. So I just click on it and we continue learning. Without further ado, let's get started. Yeah, I will actually be having issues with my live stream for a while. I've started this particular live stream. This is the first time before I actually rely on one of my network. Man. So if I click on this, you can see this introduction to Power BI actually contains 4 chapters. Getting started with Power BI, transforming data, visualizing data, and filtering. So we actually covered the chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3 in the first 3 days of the live stream. So you can watch the previous live stream to catch up. Also, the data set, exercise files, and everything you need to practice and follow along with me is not for access to it, so you can practice along. Without further ado, let's get started. I always like to download the slides. The only thing that I don't make the slides available, you get that, but the data set is all available under the YouTube description. You can click the link to have access to them because the slide are also what is displayed in the videos. So automatically you have access to the slides from the video, also from the live stream. So I'll just download this real quick and open it in my browser. Or usually I always like to launch my Power BI desktop also, but DataCamp has integrated Power BI interface into their platform. So I may not need to launch my Power BI desktop. But if you want to practice, you actually have to go to the Microsoft Store and download Power BI desktop, and you can open those files that I've linked under the YouTube description. Okay, just going to open this in my other screen here. A missing Power BI character. So I'll just put on my headsets so we can continue.
Welcome back. You don't always want to show all the data in your Power BI report. Sometimes it can be useful to reveal additional detail by drilling down or show only a subset of the data by filtering. Let's start with drilling down. Drilling down allows a single visual to show data at a high level and then gives the user the option to look at the data at a more detailed level. This action is made possible by creating hierarchies. An example of a hierarchy might be year, quarter, month, day, or company, region, country, division, and unit. Once a hierarchy is created, you can navigate up and down to lower levels. There are different ways to do this. Power BI has a set of drill controls that allow you to look at data in different ways. In this example, we're using a column chart that has a hierarchy made up of year, quarter, and month. The chart, before drilling, looks at the sales amount by year. Selecting the double arrows icon drills down on all fields at once. It takes you to the next level in the hierarchy. If you're looking at the year level, you can drill down to quarter level for all years, and then month level for all years. Note that the amounts you see here are the sales amounts by month for all years. So the January amount is the total of January 2017, 2018, and 2019 added up. The next control, Expand, adds an additional hierarchy level to the current view. So if you're looking at the year level, you can expand and add the quarter and month detail to your column chart. Each step in the path shows you the same information and adds on one level. This time, we see the sales amounts for January each year are shown as separate columns. Next, we'll look at filtering. Often, you don't want to look at all of your data at once, but rather display data based on some selected criteria. Using filters, you can filter out unnecessary information. For example, you can filter a report so that all of the data is for 1 year or one customer. You can also change a filter so that it shows a smaller set of data, like the last 2 years or the top 5 regions in terms of sales. You can apply filters on different levels in Power BI. Visual level filters are applied directly on individual visuals. Page level filters apply certain filters on a selected page within a report. Report level filters are filters that you use to apply a filter on the entire report. It's possible that you don't want the end user of your report to be able to change the filters. If you have a visualization focusing on computer sales, it wouldn't make sense for the user to be able to change the filters so a different product is displayed. You can do this in Power BI by changing the interactions. Changing interactions means the visual will not change when another field is selected. We'll take a look at how to do this in the upcoming videos. Let's practice.
Oh, let's practice. Taking time. My network is not pretty strong. I just have to manage it and do with what I have, without giving myself excuses. Come on. So we're working with hierarchies. We've watched the video. Now to answer the question. So it says you don't always want to look at all the available data in your Power BI visualizations. So depending on the business question you are trying to answer, you may want to drill down to look at additional relevant details. Drilling down accomplishes this by using hierarchies. But how much do you know about hierarchies? Okay, which statement about hierarchies is true? A hierarchy is a new column type. Wrong. A hierarchy enables the ability to show different levels of data without having to create. It is not a visual. So a hierarchy is an add-on. That is the answer. We got that. The underlying data and hierarchies. Moving to another video lesson. That is loading real quick. Come on. All right. You just have to be patient.
In this demo, we'll learn how to look at the underlying data of a visual, how to export data, and how to create hierarchies. Let's start by looking at the underlying data. Sometimes you'll want to look at the data that is used to generate a visualization. Think of, for example, users that work a lot with Excel. They are used to always seeing the data. We can do this by clicking the 3 dots on the visual of interest and then selecting Show as Table. By doing this, we can see not only the visual, but also the data that is used to generate it. From here, we also have the ability to export the data to a CSV file, for example. CSV means comma-separated values. It's a text file where values are separated by commas. Let's go back to the report. Note that we can also skip showing the table and export the data directly. Next, we'll learn how to create hierarchies. In the column chart, we are looking at the month data, but let's say we want a more detailed perspective on the date. It would be really nice to be able to drill down on the date in an organized manner. For example, in the year, quarter, month, day format, which is commonly used. We can achieve this by creating a hierarchy. To do this, we'll go to the data view. So, we want a hierarchy that starts out with the year, goes to the quarter, let's use the short name, then goes on to the month, we'll use the full name, and day. Click on the 3 dots next to the year column and select Create Hierarchy. When we do that, a hierarchy is automatically created. We are going to rename the hierarchy by double-clicking on the hierarchy name and changing it to Date Rolled Up. Then we'll add the quarter and month name columns. We do that by right-clicking on the column names and then adding them to the Date Rolled Up hierarchy. Next, we'll also add Date Key, which will allow us to drill down to the day level. By the way, you can switch the order of the levels in the hierarchy by going to Model View, selecting the hierarchy that has been created, and in the Properties pane, you can change the order of the columns. Let's go back to the report view. Note that we could have also created the hierarchy from the report view on the right here. Time to start using the new hierarchy. Select the column chart and change the axis field from short month to the new hierarchy. Don't forget to delete short month. When we do that, new controls appear at the top of the visual, which are the drill down controls. Clicking the down arrow turns on the drill down. After doing that, it turns black, meaning it is enabled. If you don't turn on drill down, selecting a visual element won't drill down. Instead, it will cross-filter the other charts on the report page. As we've covered earlier, the double arrow will get us down another level for all years, and the double arrow with the line combines information from the current and next level. Feel free to play with this on your own to get a feel for how drilling works. Let's drill down one field at a time. To do this, we'll select the bar corresponding to the year 2018 to see the amount by quarter. If we now click one of the quarters, we only see the months in that quarter of 2018. Hierarchies are a really cool way of organizing your data. Let's see if you can create them yourself.
Of course, I should be able to do that myself. Okay. Interesting. Um, while that is loading up, do not forget to subscribe to the channel to support the channel. And, let's go together. Come on, patience. Mm. Mhm. So that has finished loading up. So looking at the data, so if you like to see the data that Power BI uses to create a visualization, you can simply display the data. You can even export the data as an XLS file, which is Excel, or a .csv file, so you can open it in Excel later. In this exercise, you look at the data and export it to a CSV file that you then open up with Windows default text editor, Notepad. Notepad will open automatically if you double click on any text file. like a CSV file. Okay, next, close any open reports. Okay, let's load this report and open from exercise file. So if you download the data set from the link in the YouTube description, you have access to this data set, these files also. So do make sure to download it and open. Let's open 4.1. We are scrolling down here. This is it here. Okay, we've launched that. While that is loading, if we continue to read the instruction, the instruction says select the clustered column chart, display the underlying data. Quite simple. Export the data as a CSV file and save it on the desktop. Open the CSV file with Notepad to look at the data. What is the last character in the CSV file? Let's wait for it to load and open. Okay, our report is opened. It's taking its time. So we have to select the column charts within the instruction. Select the clustered column charts, display the underlying data. So we have the clustered column chart here. So to actually display the data, giving us this visualization, you can see show. If I scroll down from here, you can see show as a table. That should show us the underlying data. You can see. So this is the data giving us these results. We are back to the reports. Open the CSV file. Okay, let's start the section. Okay, we are back. Now we have to export. If I go back to the reports, let me now export the data sets. So we export the data sets just like that. Ooh, my network is giving me a tough time here. Apologies about that. Man, this is not fair. Okay, it is exported. Wow. Monthly amount, just save it to anywhere we like. Let's save it here. Next is what is the last character in the CSV? Okay, I have to open the CSV file here. If I go to the desktop, let's see that. It says, what is the last character in the CSV file? Last character in the CSV file. That should be 5. Let's submit that. Cool. That is 5 here. That is quite simple. Oh, man. Creating a hierarchy. Let's create an hierarchy following the instructions here. It says, sometimes you want to drill down into a chart and see different levels of your data. With hierarchies, you can add this functionality to your Power BI reports. Let's create a date hierarchy that looks like this: year, quarter, month, day. Year, quarter, month, day. Okay, I can close this that I have here. So if you lose progress, we didn't. So let's continue from where we stopped. Navigate to dim date table in the data view. If you go to the data view, under the dim date section here, the dim date table here, it says create a hierarchy that starts with year. So we just go ahead and select the year column. Okay. Oh, why did I press? Oh, I have to start the session. My network is at it again. Oh, could I even use the exercise file? I think if I should, hold up, let me just definitely use. I think I'll have to go back to creating hierarchy 4.2. I think the solution I could do now is open the actual data sets on my local computer. So I'm launching the Power BI data set here. So if this doesn't come up, I'll definitely have to use the Power BI desktop on my local computer. So navigate to dim dates. So we're on the dim dates column here, the dim date table. If you scroll down to the year, so this is the year. I want to see, oh, it's loaded here. So I'll definitely be using my Power BI desktop here. So if I go to the table view here, or let's even go to the data view, you can create hierarchy anywhere you like. So I can actually decide to create the hierarchy in this view here. The report is still loading, but if I go back to my content, it says if you lost progress, close any report and load 4.2, creating a hierarchy from the exercise file. So I've actually loaded it. It's actually loading the report, the dim dates. So these are dim dates here. In the data view, create a hierarchy that starts with the year. If I click on the year here, I'll definitely be using the this is our data view. If I bring out my, so I could actually use this to create it. I think which is much more easier than actually. So I'll click on the year column. Let me just switch off my camera there. So I click on the year column. You can see create hierarchy. I have to give it a name. You can see the hierarchy has been created. So instruction now says go on to the quarter full. Let's start with the year. Goes on to the quarter full, then month name and end with date key. So I'm just trying to restart this. So I'll now go back to this quarter full. So this quarter full. If I click on it, I'll add it to the hierarchy, year hierarchy. So it's going to add it to the hierarchy here. You can see. I think the next one now says we should add a month name, date key, add to the hierarchy, the year hierarchy. If I click on this, you can see we have year, quarter, full, month name, and date key in our hierarchy. Let me see if my report view has loaded. Oh, wow, it has loaded. That's interesting. So I can actually do whatever I want to do on my local computer if my network is giving me issue. Sometimes that's what I have to face. There's always a solution. So next is rename the hierarchy to date hierarchy. So I have to rename it to dates hierarchy. So I can actually rename it here. I'll just double click. I can click on this icon here. Let me switch on my camera. I click on the icon here and actually rename it like this. Let's name it to dates hierarchy. I think I spelled that correctly. Or I didn't. I spelled there. I was supposed to spell dates. Dates. My Grammarly is telling me I didn't spell that correctly. Oh, I'm missing an R. So I'm missing an R here. That's quite funny. I think that is spelled correctly now. So the next instruction now says in the column chart on the report view, replace the short month name axis value of the column chart by the date hierarchy. So you have to go back to the this has now come up, but I'll just do it in my local. So I'll select this axis here. So I'll now replace this short month name with the date hierarchy here. I'll add a new data set here. So I can just remove this data because we now have our visual back here. Wow, interesting. I think I'm enjoying this. Then the next instruction now says use the drill down controls in the top right corner of the visual to explore the different levels. Click the single down arrow to enable drill down. So I have to click the single down arrow. This is the single down arrow. Click to turn on drill down. If I click on it, then I should be able to drill down. Which quarter across all years are the highest amounts? Format here, why? Okay, which quarter amongst all year? So let's try to answer that. If I drill down at the lowest level, build up. So let's see if we drill down. We can actually, I think this is the lowest. Okay. So we're actually at the quarter level among all year. Okay. If I drill up, year quarter full name. Okay, you can see year quarter full. So we are seeing by each quarter of the year. So this is 2017 quarter one, which is January to March, 3 month difference, 3 month, 3 month, 3 months. So the instruction now says which quarter across all years are the highest amounts. So if you look at our data sets here, that should be quarter four of 2017. So let's fill that up. That year, that should be Y 2017 Q4. Q4 should be our. Yeah, we got that. That is interesting. So let's continue. So definitely I'll probably be using my Power BI desktop to answer the question. So also make sure to download the data sets from the link in the YouTube description. You have access to all the exercise files so you can practice along also. I'll just move it away from the screen. So my other screen here. All right, so let's continue from where we stopped.
In this demo, we'll learn how to work with filters. We've added a new dimension table called dim entity to the data. This table contains information on sales location, the location being a value in the dim entity table. Wow, looks like there are a ton of locations. We want to show only the top 10. To do this, we'll click on the visual.
Oh, what's the problem? How did I do full screen now? I was trying to do full screen so that it's easy to see. That's quite interesting. So we're actually on filters. All right, let's continue. Mm, Oh, this is taking time to load. Oh, let's reload the page. I probably should have left it in the small size. Come on, come up. So the goal is to finish this course, the first chapter of the course today. So we are going to achieve that, even if we're having challenges with network. We won't allow that to deter us. Oh, it's coming up. Finally. So we only have just few more lessons. Whoa, this is taking longer than expected. Uh-oh, come on. Yep, we are back. Good to be back. I guess I'll avoid the full screen. I'll have to use the smaller screen like this then.
In this demo, we'll learn how to work with filters. We've added a new dimension table called dim entity to the data. As you can see, the entity key field can be found in the fact strategy table as well, and that is what they are joined by. Let's look at the report. This visual is about the sales amount by location, the location being a value in the dim entity table. Wow, looks like there are a ton of locations. We want to show only the top 10. To do this, we'll click on the visual to select it. Notice that when we do this, an option to filter on the filter pane, here on the right. Click on Entity Name, and under here, where it says Basic Filtering, select Top N. So that is going to give us the top N number of entities, meaning locations, and we want 10. The value we want to select the top locations on should be the amount. Click Apply Filter. That looks better, right? Let's sort the columns by the amount, in descending order, so it's easy to see the top 10 locations. Seems like Contoso Catalog is the top one. Finally, we'll change the visual to a clustered bar chart to mix the visuals up a bit. There we go. Next, we want to filter all pages to only show actual sales amounts. To do that, we need to look at how the data is reported. Let's go to the data view and look at the values in the fact strategy table. We can see that the values have a scenario listed. If we go to dim scenario, we can see that the scenario tells us whether the amount is actual, budgeted, or forecasted. We're only interested in the actual values in this report, so let's add scenario name to the filter pane. We want to filter on all pages, so let's drag scenario name to filters on all pages. There are 3 options. Only select actual. Now, every single amount value is just the actual amount. That is going to impact every page. Notice that every time we click on a product category, the actual amount changes. But we don't want it to change. We want it to always be the same. Let's go into the Format tab on top and edit the interactions. When we do that, you'll notice filter and no symbols popping up on the visualizations. Let's select the monthly amount visualization. Since this is the one highlighted, this is the context the filtering is going to happen with the other visualizations on the report page. Let's turn off the interaction. Now, the actual amount will not be filtered based on what is selected in the monthly amount visual. Let's do the same thing for year. Note that you might have to move some visuals around to see the interaction icons. Let's look at the result. Turn off the Edit Interactions functionality in the top left corner. You can see that the interactions are disabled. If you select a product category or filter on year, the actual amount card in the top left corner doesn't change. Over to you.
Editing and interactions. So I've actually launched my exercise files, which I believe should be the next one that we're going to use for the next example. Come on. If we should have finished this part, the last part, a long time ago. The network is just giving us issue. And it has decided to give us quite a lot of trouble today. So the instruction says adding a filter. So I'm reading from the instruction here. It says filtering is an important tool when you are creating Power BI reports. You don't always want to look at all of the data. Limiting the data used in visuals to only a selection that is relevant can help you answer more detailed business questions. In the report, you can see that the cards on the sales analysis page tab are labeled actual, forecast, and budgets. Because we have it say actual, forecast, and budgets. So we have the right file opened, but they all have the same value. You need to apply some filters to fix this. Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, they all have the same value. You can see same value. So if I go back to the instruction, it says close any reports and open adding filters. I have that opened in my local machine already. So open the filters pane, add a filter to the actual card visual that filters on rows where scenario name is equal to actual. Open the filter here So that says add what? Add a filter to the actual card visual. The filters on rows. I'll select the card visual. Okay. I'll select the actual card visual. Add a filter to the actual card visual that filters on rows where scenario name is equal to actual. Okay. So I have to add filter on this visual. So there are three types of filtering: visual filter, page filter, and all page report filter. Okay, I think I'm seeing. Let's say add visual here. Where will I get the actual? Let's see, the scenario name should be here. Okay, I can bring the scenario name to add field here. So I'm going to filter on rows. Filter where row scenario name equals to actual. Select actual. Okay, I've done that. Next, add a filter to the forecast card via the filters goes where scenario. So I have to do the same thing for forecast also. So I'll grab that from here, scenario name, drop it here. I'll say for forecasts. Oh, they're almost the same thing. Okay, different. This is 34, 18.34, 18.13. Then the instruction also says same thing. Add the filter to the budget card visual. The filters on rows where scenario name is equal to budgets. Okay, want to filter the budget also. Scenario name is equal to budgets. Interesting. We're just doing basic filtering here. So we're on track. So the next instruction now says, question, what was the total forecasted amount for the forecast? That should be 18.13. Should be this. Oh, we got that quite easy. Turning off interactions. So by default, okay, I think I need to open. So let me close this. So this is all we need to do with this exercise file. Let me just save that and close it. Let me open the another file called turning off interactions. While this is coming up, let me read the instruction. So the instruction says, by default, visualizations on a report page can be used to cross filter regardless of what selections have been made elsewhere in the report. Let's turn off those interactions. Note that you may have to temporarily move a visual to be able to see the circle with a line through it. In this report, we want to make sure that actual forecast and budget cards don't change when other elements are selected. Oh, that's true. So if I open my Power BI report, it's still coming up. It's close. Oh, it's up. So if I try to select a visual here, so this will also filter, but we don't want that. Okay, let's see. You can see the filter button here. Okay, it's actually filtered correctly. So if I select it, they're also going to get filtered. So I have to select off everything for me. So I have to select everything back. Yeah. Okay, we got that. So if I select any of the visual also, but we don't want that. So we have to off the interaction. So that's what we want to do here. Okay. The instruction says select the budget product visual. Select the budget product sold visual. Budget product sold visual, which is this. Okay. Budget product sold visual. Go to the interaction editing mode in the format tab at the top of the screen. Go to the interaction editing mode. Where is that? So my Power BI is actually updated. Well, let me see here. edit interactions. Okay, I've seen it. Go to the format tab, edit interactions, turn off interaction with each of the three cards. Then we turn off interaction so that this card won't interact with that visual. So to do that, I just have to click on none, none, none. So if I select this visual now, like this is filtering the remaining, but it is not filtering this our card visual. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Can see our we've turned on interaction. But if I actually select another visual, if I select these other visuals below here, the cards will get filtered. Let's see. Yeah. So I have to select this visual also and turn off the interaction for it. Yeah, that's how to do that. Okay, so the next one says exit the interaction editing mode. So select the TV and video bar in the budget product sold charts. Select the TV and video bar option. So applying advanced filtering. So let's take our filter skills up a notch. You want to find out what the 5 best performing stores are in terms of sales amount. To do this, you create a new bar chart that displays only 3 stores. After that, you use some of your formatting skills from earlier in the chapter to improve your visual. So if you lost progress, close any open report and load applying advanced filtering or Power BI file from the exercise folder on the desktop. So we have that launched already. Let's see. Yeah, we have it set up already. Real quick. So remove the budget monthly amount chart to make room. So we have to remove this budget amount card. I'll just delete that. Delete. Boom, it's gone. Start bar chart to the reports with entity name on the y-axis and amount on the x-axis. Clustered bar charts. So we have to open our visual tab here. Clustered bar chart. This tag is clustered. So we have that here. Just make it wild a little bit. So the data set we provide data set on the y-axis and the x-axis here. Data points rather. So entity name on the y-axis. Let me just search for entity name. Entity name on the y-axis and amount on the x-axis a little bit bigger. Cool. So following the instruction, so go to the filter pane and add a top end filter on entity name. Show only the top 5 stores. Okay. So I want to filter using some advanced filtering. So if I select the visual, open it, you can see on entity name, add the word top end filter on entity name. On entity name here, which is I'll say basic instead of basic filtering, I want to do top end filtering. I want to do top 5 by value. So by which value do you want to do top 5? It should be by amount. So top end filter show only top 5, show only top 5 stores. So I have to make sure I'm giving it. So I always say it should do top 5 items by what? By the values. I need to select the amount field there. So then it should filter it. I'll now click on apply filter. The top 5 stores based on amount. So that's how to filter, create advanced filtering. Try to sort the columns in ascending order. Does it make sense visually? Okay, so try to sort the columns in ascending order. Sort in ascending order. It actually makes sense from lowest to highest. Let's see. Try to sort the columns in ascending order. Does it make sense visually? Or what is the name of the 5th best performing Contoso store? Name of the 5th best performing. 5th best. That should be the North American seller. So that's the 5th best. It can be confusing at times. There is it. Oh, I think the 5th best is North American online store. Okay, North American seller. I selected the wrong. It said North American reseller. Okay, reseller, not seller. So I did a mistake. So my bad. So quite interesting. Nice one. Whoa. I think I'll prefer using my Power BI desktop now, which is quite easy and fast to use. It's interesting. And it's getting tougher and funnier. Let's see. Oh, so just congratulations. We answered all the questions correctly in this section, yeah. Wow, that's good. That was a tough one with network challenges also. But with skill too. Yeah, skill too. Oh, I didn't change the name. I'm supposed to change the name to top 5. So it's quite simple to change the name. You can see the name of the visual here. I'll go to the format tab here. Where's the format tab here? So where's the format tab? Oh, this is not fair. This is the format tab here. Oh, we have it here. Yeah, format. So I want to rename the visual properties. So the visual. So I have to look for the title here. So this is title. So it should be top 5. Top 5. I've forgotten what we'd have to rename it to. But it should be top 5 something. Top 5. Can I just give it top 5 store? You see? And there it is. I can just switch off my store if I want the data set to be viewed correctly. So I think we've come to the end of chapter
Congratulations on
1.
reaching the end of this course, and thank you for taking it. You learned about the different views in Power BI. You loaded multiple datasets in the data view, built a data model to make relationships between your tables in the model view, and created your first interactive report in report view. You also practiced using Power Query Editor to prepare and clean your data for analysis. You learned how to change and format a wide range of visualizations from a matrix to a donut chart. You created hierarchies enabling different drill-down paths in your reports. Finally, you gained skills in sorting, filtering, and controlling interactivity. If you are starting your journey, good luck with the rest of the track, and remember that you are entitled to a 50% discount code for the Microsoft PL300 certification exam once you have completed the track. Now, congrats, and thank you again for taking this course. We hope you continue using Power BI in the future.
All right, thank you. I'll do that later. Got it. So it's automatically moves to the next course, but I'm not starting the next course today. We'll definitely be starting that on day 5 of the live stream. Oh, we spent quite a lot of hours today. Introduction to DAX in Power BI. All right, so thanks for the staying to the end of the live stream. If you stay to the end and practice along with me, you are the real MVP. So make sure to practice. You have access to the data set, to the files, and follow the instructions, the instructor along as he practice and try to get your hands dirty. The best way to learn is to practice when it comes to the data analytics field or industry. All right, thanks for staying to the end, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share the video to your friends that will need it and who's trying to learn Power BI also. And I'll see you in the next video on the channel, and I'll see you on the next day of the live stream. Don't forget, put on your notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever I go live, so you can catch up and follow along. Why are you missing a day? We're actually completing it from day 1 to day 100. So don't forget to subscribe. Bye. I'll see you next time. Go watch the next video. Go catch up.